We are raising questions that can help us in order to think, to reflect, and to adjust our approach or our methodology.
The main added value of the methodology and the core values of INSPIRED are precisely inclusiveness, participation, and pluralism.
So there is what we call the collective assessment phase. The second phase is then the main dialogue phase itself. The third phase, we call it monitoring and alignment.
In the end, this collective assessment is key to the process, and that attention is not paid enough to this collective assessment, since in the end it defines the way that the external donor, for instance, or the stakeholders work together.
They are concerned about how to change their course, about how policy should be able to develop rather than becoming so prescriptive.
It's the quality of this collective assessment that will guide the full process.
In terms of stakeholders, who is there? What is their interest? How can we define their interest? What is it that they want to achieve? Or how could we define success or disinterest in terms of objective of these groups? What is their power? Or what is their capacity to represent themselves in any process?
So you need to actually identify local talent and local capacities and then strengthen those, which is what has been missing, to be honest, also from the UN side a lot.
The process is almost as important as the result.
There's a deep need and desire in our societies to help people to talk. And not that we as facilitators should tell people what to talk about, but that we pretty much just help our societies to lay a table for them, bring them to the table, and say to them, now here you sit and start to talk. You determine your agenda and you find your own solutions.
Identifying the capacity of the stakeholders, in this case the politicians, was key, and then capacity building so as to make the different groups work together.
And we will watch you from the side as you discover that you actually are having lots of similar interests, and that you actually have much more in common usually as societies than you often think.
There's a sign of wanting to have a change, an evolving change that requires people who are going to be affected by policy to be part of the process.
So we lay the tables, and you talk and you eat and you decide on the menu.
What we have to do is to look at the dialogue and policy influencing process as a seamless spectrum of activities, starting from building trust, getting the major stakeholders on the board, having the methodology of influencing the policies and getting the outcomes that we have.
What is the potential of the context? And if you put seeds and water, what comes out of it? What kind of plants will come out of it? Are these the plants that we think the seeds will grow? Will be other plants growing as well? Should we weed the plants that were not expected? Or should we just watch them grow and see what happens?
It's a learning process that we can learn from our success, but also from our failures, and how we can integrate it in our projects.
The experiences the INSPIRED have had in different countries, and very concrete, good examples that people are bringing into the developing the mechanisms and tools and ways of working with civil society actors and political actors in different countries. So thank you for the European Partnership for Democracy.